Hey guys, and welcome to Let's Play Kirby's Return to Dreamland on the Nintendo Wii. Alright, let's get going. This game was a fairly recent release. If I remember correctly, it came out somewhere, just in time for Christmas, something like that. I decided to pick it up a few months ago, and the reason I kind of picked it up was because I'm more of a fan of kind of the older Kirby games, like Kirby Superstar on the Super Nintendo is one of the games that I remember playing the most when I was a kid. And since I rediscovered it, when I found out about emulation and all that, it's still one of my favorite games. I mean, I love it so much, and I'd read around on this and heard that it kind of borrows from a lot of those, classic elements, and I found out it actually borrows pretty heavily from Kirby Superstar as well. So it seemed kind of cool, and I played it through, and as you can see, I had quite a lot of fun with it. You can see I've got my complete 100% file there. Kirby's got the crown, and everything's all shiny, and I've played through it on main mode 100% again. So yeah, this is actually a really, really good game. It's probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite game that I actually own on the Wii. So I figured I would pick this up and make this my next sort of casual LP. We're just going to be playing through main mode. I could do the extra mode if I wanted to. As you can see, I've actually got one ready right there. But we're just going to go through main mode. It's a little bit less headache, and it's like we're just picking the game up for the first time. So let's go ahead and get started. So there you go, there's our intro. Without even saying a word, we know exactly what we need to do. And yeah, those scenes are actually very reminiscent of Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards. I did play that one a little bit. But yes, we have to, the ship here is crashed and we gotta go recover the 5 parts, spread around planet Popstar in order to get it flying again. It's not really a big plot. I mean, Kirby's never really been huge on story necessarily. But we kind of have a Kirby's Dreamland. I don't know, there's been so many of them. Honestly, I can't remember most of the older ones. But there have been a few that have kind of had this layout where you go into the levels, and then you have like different doors leading to each stage, and then culminating with the boss at the end. So, yep, there we go. We're going to start up level 1 and stage number 1. I don't believe they have actual names. 4 players anytime. Well, there's only one of me here, so I guess that kind of rules that out. And here we go. You can see it's an old classic 2D platformer. That's nice. We got jumping, we got flying, and yes, like Kirby Superstar, Kirby has infinite flight in this game, which does make it a lot easier. Because you can just stay in the air as long as you want. We've got running, we got sliding, we got blocking, and we're going to have powers and everything. It's going to be awesome. So let's get going. So yeah, this is still kind of a tutorial. I mean, the enemies just stand around. We both kind of swing our arms forward at each other, but we can inhale them, spit them out, destroy blocks. I mean, it's Kirby. You know how it works by this point. So we just make our way through here. And I guess I can also go ahead and mention this will be a 100% run because it's pretty easy to do. There may be times here and there where I kind of forget to pick up. If you notice, there were 120 of those things that guy was missing, and that's basically what constitutes 100%. So here we picked up the sword power, which kind of sucks in this game. Like, for some reason, it got a huge downgrade. Like, the range is pretty bad, and it's actually somewhat weak. You still have, like, your jumping, spinning attack that we had before. We got the regular ones. It actually controls pretty much just like Kirby Superstar, which really made me catch on to its, like, super quick. Because, like I said, I did love that one, so... I'm probably going to dump the sword. I just don't really like it. I could have picked up that cutter back there, but oh well, I guess we just didn't, so... And you can also, there's a new feature that they're going to show us here at some point, but you can kind of do like a super inhale. Like if you hold it down and then like start shaking the controller, you can see it goes like super crazy with it. I'm pretty sure there is a tutorial for that later on. You get a nice star up here. If you get 100 of those, you get an extra life. And here's Broom Hatter, but unfortunately no, the broom pattern or the broom power is not in here. All right, so it looks like we can pick up some fire here. I guess we can get over here. Go ahead and do that. And the fire is, again, a lot like it is in Kirby Superstar. You've got... this one, I think, works a little bit different. The jumping attack is somewhat, you know, it's changed a bit from then. You'll probably find me making a lot of comparisons to that game because, like I said, it is one of my favorites, and it does get borrowed pretty heavily. Alright, so we picked up this key now. We're going to take it and unlock this. You're going to find various items like that along the way, and usually they'll lead to these things. And we'll get an explanation. And energy spheres are scattered across the land. Try to find all the hidden ones. And as you can see, that is one of 3 on this world. They do go in order. Like, the first one is the first one you can get. The second one is the second one you can get, which makes it a lot easier. You know pretty much automatically if you skipped one. Now, here's where they're going to teach us about the super inhale. We can get these large gray blocks if we want. And pick up the 1-up inside. They start you out with a ton of lives. I don't even know why they bother. You also have to do the super inhale if you want to swallow that thing, so keep that in mind. Alright, so let's keep going. Looks like we got a little secret place down here. Basically, anytime you see somewhere to go off the beaten path, you want to take it. Because there's usually either an energy sphere to collect or something else that's probably beneficial. Alright, and through the door. And also the door sound is exactly the same as it is in Kirby Superstar, which I liked. I thought that was a nice touch. Alright, now here they're going to introduce actually a brand new mechanic to the Kirby series. You know, you can't just use all the classic stuff. You can see we got this enemy here that's like super sparkly. When you swallow him, you get the Ultra Sword power. This is one of a number of super powers in the game, and you can see when you use it, awesome things happen. Most of the superpowers are actually really cool. So, oh, that sucked. See how we can use it to basically just obliterate everything in our path. And usually also, actually not only usually, but every time you get a superpower, there's like some sort of special vortex you can go into. We'll find it sort of towards the end. But that basically guarantees that you get 2 energy crystals out of it. So if you're getting near the end of the level like we kind of are now, and you haven't gotten many, don't worry, there's still 2 more to be had. And you can see we do have a little meter there. It doesn't last forever, but it usually lasts way more time than you need to. And as you can see here, we've opened up that little portal that I was talking about. If we jump in, we unfortunately lose the superpower, but we get taken here, wherever this is. We got some kind of strange purple wall chasing us, so we should probably get a move on. If you want, you can like spit things back into it to sort of make it stop for a while, but it's usually not necessary, and it usually catches up with you pretty quickly anyway. So your best bet, most of the time, is just to run for it. It really shouldn't present too much trouble, especially early on. You can do cool things like this, just kind of follow that star you shoot down. It's pretty neat. So dashing through here. These are mostly just obstacle courses for the most part. Like everyone you see will be virtually the same thing. So we can just jump over these guys through the door. And this is also cool music. That's something I haven't talked about either. The music in this game is generally awesome. So we got a choice of 2 powers here. We're actually going to fight a mini-boss that we're going to be encountering many, many times throughout this game. I think I'm going to go with Fire, because like I said, Sword is a little bit weak in this game. And Fire's got some decent range on it. As you can see, we're getting ready to fight the Sphere Doomer. This guy is going to show up at the end of all of these, types of places. And he's going to be guarding 2 energy spheres. Of course, lost the power. Get over here, dude. Oh, I could have actually... There's a special attack you can kind of do with the fire that isn't in the original Kirby Superstar. If you, hold the fire out and then, push it towards you, you can sit there and do this. And that actually does a lot of damage. And if you can get him to run into it like he's about to... There we go. Of course, he didn't have much health left anyway. So we defeat him, and as you can see, we get our last 2 energy spheres. Nicely tells us the stage's energy spheres are complete. Give us a tomato, and we are on our way. And usually whenever you encounter these places, you're basically right at the end of the level, so just make our way around the corner here. Still got some more of these guys. Bronto Burt, I think their name was. I don't know, I'm a little bit rusty on the Kirby enemy names for the most part. So we go through the giant door. This is the end of the stage. We play the goal game. Try to hit the button just as it hits the bottom. Actually, yeah, I probably wanted to wait just a little bit more. But, the higher up you get, the more stars you get as a reward. You get 15, yeah, for 2. I don't remember what it is for 1, probably 30, but I don't know, I don't pay attention. So we complete stage 1, stage 2 opens, and we do the same thing. That's basically all there is to know about this game. A few nuances here and there, but for the most part, that's Kirby. I mean, it's never been the most complicated thing in the world, so... but it's good fun. I mean, it controls really well. I'm not really a fan of using, the Wiimote as an actual controller. You may have seen at the beginning, it wants you to hold it sideways. So, the directional pad is kind of small because I have big hands and big thumbs. So, it's a little bit awkward and it kind of hurts my thumb, a little bit if I play too long, but we should be fine. Alright, this is just a little scenic drive. They just kind of put you on the star and, let you go through. Go back here if we want, get a few stars. There's nobody here. Alright, they're going to give us Cutter. Yeah, we can get Cutter because we haven't seen it yet. There's a couple things. If you can, charge up, you can throw this giant one. You can sort of control which way it goes. We've got that. We've got the, downward attack. And we do have the little... let's see if I can do it on this guy. Yeah, we do still have that combo, of course. That's pretty... that's traditional, Kirby fare at this point, so... Just going through, I guess. Got hit by that guy. And of course you can cut things down like that when you have the cutter power. There are also a few more you can use, like spear and sword and stuff like that. Wing, I think, will also get it down if you use one of its attacks. A nice special star for us there. Alright, and on through. Get some stars here if we want. Might as well, I guess, pick them up for the heck of it. Alright, now this thing has another item that we're going to come across, which is pretty cool. Usually whenever you come across something like this, you're going to need to actually use it to pick up one of the energy spheres. So this one, as you can see, is a cannon that just sort of fires intermittently above us. It can destroy those gray blocks, which is nice. So we can pretty much just run through at this point. They've given us all the firepower we need. We do need to break this up here. Make a bridge. Yes, once we get to the end, you need to blow up those blocks up there in order to reach the first energy sphere. So make sure you don't dawdle too much with that thing. And the energy spheres in World 1 are, extremely easy. We've got another power here, which I'm not really too fond of. This is Needle. There are a couple things you can do. If you hold it down, you can sort of just stand out there like that. If you shake the Wii Remote, you can sort of shoot them off in all directions. We've got the upward attack, which is interesting. You can kind of roll. So yeah, there's various things you can do with each of the powers. If you don't know, you can access the pause menu. As you can see, here's all your controls here. I mean, this is basically everything you need to know. The Needle, like I said, doesn't really have too much, but we can use it to make our way up here if we want. And of course, there's little places off to the side to get food and stuff. Needle is alright for actually climbing this thing, though, because once you have that out, you're pretty much invulnerable from all sides, so that's really good. Just go through here. I could have gotten Beam there from Waddle Doo. Yeah, I remember him. That's a pretty distinctive name. Alright, and there's actually a somewhat cleverly hidden energy sphere. You may see it, but it's up here in the tree. And I actually passed that one the first time through. That was the first one I missed when I was going for 100% the first time. Alright, got a couple choices here. This one's Beam, so we're going to go with it. It works generally the same as it does in Kirby Superstar. I mean, like I said, all the powers are, you know, generally similar. If that kind of thing, if we want, we can hold it and shoot off a massive beam. Beam has actually improved quite a bit since Kirby Superstar. Even just the regular beam has gotten quite a lot more powerful. If you're going to use it on bosses, you can do that. You can also do that little attack. It kind of looks like I'm tickling them, so I call it the tickle attack every now and then. And you can see, I mean, that was actually pretty powerful. But we're going to pick up Sword from this guy. We may need it. I think, yeah, we need to cut something down to hit the energy sphere. Generally, as a rule of thumb, if you're going for 100%, if you fight a mini-boss, take its power, because chances are you're going to need it. In fact, it's a good idea to just take almost any new power that you come across, really. Alright, so that's the end of stage 2. Let's see if we can... that one's probably good. Yeah, thought so. And yeah, you see the UFO going through there. No, there is no UFO power, which is a little unfortunate, but... it was kind of overpowered, you know, anyway, so... Alright, make our way to stage 3. Oh, and there was the Spark there we could have picked up. Spark in this game is basically, I could actually go back for it because the enemy will respawn, so we can go ahead and get it. Spark in this game is actually kind of a combination of Spark from the Kirby 64 and also Plasma, because if you like move around a lot, you can charge it up and shoot out the giant beam. So it's kind of a combination, but if you just use the regular attack, see, it's basically like Spark was from Kirby 64. So they sort of combine the two there. Spark is alright. I don't generally use it too much. You can also charge it up just by shaking the Wii Remote. You don't even have to move around. The shield it generates can be helpful, but I don't really rely on it too much. You can see they give you Spark again right there, so I wonder if we're going to need it for something. And yeah, you can also shoot lightning down, which is kind of interesting. Just make our way down through here. And before we go in the door, drop down again, because there's another energy sphere. Yeah, this piece is kind of cool too. I like this one. It's so playful. Yeah, but Spark is actually pretty good for just taking out regular enemies, because you're basically invulnerable while you've got that Spark shield up. So, you know, really you can just sit there and not even have to worry about anything. And you can also shoot lightning from above, which is pretty helpful. It's going to be actually necessary to pick up one of the energy spheres later on. If we want, we can open that up. There's a donut inside, which I don't really need. I guess we can pick up the fire again. Alright, there's beam, there's another beam. I get the feeling they're wanting me to take it. I might need it. See, it just makes me worry when they give you opportunities for powers like that. Like, you're gonna need it to pick up an energy sphere. And I don't remember if you actually do need it or not, but I'm just gonna pick it up to be safe. Alright, well, here's one we can get. You can see there's a locked door, so we're gonna have to actually grab a key first. Oh, come on. There. So the key's just right over here. We can grab it and jump back. Cannon just falls. Alright, unlock and grab number 2. And up we go. Yep. I mean, like I said, it's Kirby. You know, it's pretty much self-explanatory. Oh, there's one cool thing you can actually do with the beam, though. If I would stop running there. If you do a regular attack, you can pretty much just stay in the air indefinitely if you keep tapping the button. So that's kind of interesting. Destroy that to make the cannons fall. Get some stars down here. It turns out maybe I didn't need beam after all, but I don't know. They've been giving me a lot of opportunities for it, so it just kind of makes me nervous. Oh, well, there it goes anyway. Hope I didn't need it. Alright, now we have to race this little guy. Yeah, he always carries a key, and as you can see, we're kind of on different paths, so we just need to beat him to the end. Because if we don't, he will pretty much just jump off and lose the key in the process, so you need to make sure you beat him there. Pretty easy, too. Most of the time, that's generally not too much trouble. Take out the sword guy, I guess. Alright, so let's take him down and grab the key. As you can see, if he would have kept going forward, he would have just fell straight into that cliff there, so that would not have been good. And now we can grab that energy sphere. So I guess we didn't need beam after all, but... Alright, and that completes that stage. Yeah, it's World 1, you know, it's really easy, so... Ooh, nice. I'm usually alright at that. I mean, I always get at least 2, but sometimes it's kind of hit and miss on whether I can actually get 1 or not. So, there's another life. Yeah, we're going to be getting plenty of those by the time the game's over. The downside is, though, I'm pretty sure that it actually resets your life count if you, like, exit and, you know, go back in. So, we won't be able to... We probably won't be able to get to, like, 99 or anything, you know, like Donkey Kong Country, so... Alright, looks like this one we've got 4, and there's also actually a secret here that I didn't really find out until I started trying to speedrun this game. I was going to for a while. I was kind of looking at an any percent run, but I don't know. It's ended up being really annoying because basically you just get wing like from the first set of multiple enemies and just keep it throughout the whole game. So you know that was actually a whole lot of trouble, especially in like World 3 where there's a lot of water and stuff. Okay, well I missed the secret apparently. We can go back in afterwards. There's actually something else you can do there. There's kind of a secret room with some extra powers you can get, but I guess we'll have to go back in afterwards. I must have been holding up. Alright, so here we go. We got an invincibility candy here, so let's go ahead and take it. We can pretty much just run through everything, which is really nice. Keep going. It's like, don't even worry about anything. Just run and jump. You can get up here if you want to grab the Maxim Tomato. Nice. Made it to the end. Alright, now we gotta watch out for the stuff falling from the ceiling, obviously. Alright, and this here, I really don't know what to call this. It looks like a magical French horn, but basically you pick it up and it creates sort of this shield over top of you, which destroys basically everything it comes into contact with, which is really nice. And you can see it's really helpful to get through here, because that's a lot of stuff to avoid. You destroy some blocks, some Waddle Dees. And we can grab another one here, because they do wear out over time, so let's make our way back through. And then you can see there's another energy sphere in there, so let's just let these guys fall, and we'll destroy them. Let's go ahead and take out those two as well. And that should be energy sphere number 2. Nice. Alright, now I'm thinking there's probably another superpower in this one. It just feels like there would be, because there's exactly 2 left, and I think we're getting fairly close. Yeah, there is, you can tell. And yep, this time looks like we got a super fire dude, so this one's actually pretty cool. Let's see, we get Monster Flame, and the what happens with this one. Basically summon this like fire dragon to go all the way across the screen and burn things. It's really awesome. You can control the dragon a little bit. You can sort of aim it up or down just a hair. You can kind of see it was moving a bit there. It can be somewhat tough if you don't time it right to hit exactly what you're aiming for. Basically, just remember it comes in a little bit above Kirby's head, and that should be good enough. And yeah, it'll go through like floors and everything, so there's no need to worry about that either. So you can see they pretty much just set all the enemies up in a straight line, so you can have some fun annihilating things. You can remember to fly as soon as we get out of that. There we go. Oh, well, guess we can use it on the one enemy. That works. And of course those trees you can burn. Usually whenever you get a superpower, there's some sort of environmental thing that you can just destroy with it, which is pretty cool. In this case it's the trees. And you'll generally have to in order to activate that little portal thing to get the last 2 energy spheres. And it should be right here, I believe, once we destroy this big tree. Yep, there it is. So, in we go. Alright, and let's get going again. I kind of like the background here. And it's kind of a trippy place. It's kind of neat that everything also is black and white, while, you know, all the enemies are in color and everything, so that's pretty cool. We got some sort of grid stuff happening in the background. It's kind of crazy. I'd really like to know what this place is actually supposed to be, other than just something that looks cool, but... So yeah, as you can see, the purple wall is generally pretty slow. I mean, you can even stand here and inhale all this stuff, and it doesn't even come close to catching you. It doesn't hurt on impact, but it will kill you if it crushes you like against a wall. So there's really no danger from it, honestly. Alright, got a few powers here. Leaf, I feel obligated to show you. I never use it, though. Apparently, there are some attacks with it that are pretty strong, but I just find it weird, and I don't really like that attack, and that is just such a weird pattern that like, I don't think I'd ever be able to hit anything with it, so we're going to go with Spark, because as you can guess, we're going to fight another Sphere Doomer. There it is. And if you want, you can sit there and do this. That works pretty well against them. I mean, you can also charge up and shoot at them like that. That also does quite a bit of damage. Spark works pretty well against these things, so it's a good power to take if you see it. And there we go. That'll complete the energy spheres for stage 1-4. And they do always give you a Maxim Tomato at the end to refill your health from that fight, so... Alright, and as we can see, we are about to reach the end of the level. I think I was early on that one. Yeah. Nice, and as you can see, that unlocks the boss. And also, we've got all energy spheres for level 1. Nice, so that marks 13 out of 120. Alright, so it's time to move on to the boss of Stage 5, and as you could probably already tell just from the setup, again, if you're a Kirby Superstar fan, you could probably guess what's coming. They're going to give us a choice of powers here. Fire is very good. There's actually a nice attack you can do with it. If you remember the attack where you kind of set yourself on fire like that, that's actually going to be really good here, and it can make it go really quickly if you know what you're doing. Yep, and as you can guess, we're fighting Wispy Woods, of course, like that's pretty much the most classic Kirby boss. So as you can see, using the Inferno attack starts the second phase really quickly, and you can pretty much keep it there if you want to do some extra damage. He's going to swallow you here, which is fine, just shake to get out of it. Grab the power back, get right next to him again. Now he's going to drop a spike thing on me. Gotta move out of the way of that, though. Oh, well, I didn't mean to dash. He's going to eat me again. But yeah, this is a very easy boss. The boss music is pretty cool, though, actually. I like it. Of course, there's his clouds he spits out. A couple more hits and he's done for. So, very, very easy boss. You know, it's Wispy Woods. He's generally pretty simple, and of course, he cries at the end like he always does. You can see we've got a ship part, so let's grab it. And it wouldn't be Kirby without a victory dance. Nice. And this music may also sound a little bit familiar. Oh, I also just realized I forgot to go back into 1-4. Okay, well, we'll do that after this, I promise. Alright, and we go inside the ship. And we're going to get to talk with Magalore here. This is actually the first time we get to learn his name. So that's pretty cool. I'm probably not going to bother reading the text. Like I said, it's find the other parts. I mean, that's about all you need to know. Look for energy spheres. We're also, yeah, he's going to tell us about unlocking stuff. There are some things you can unlock if you get enough energy spheres. You don't really even need to read his dialogue. I'll just explain it. As you can see, they're all kind of labeled with how many you need. There's minigame rooms, there's copy ability rooms, which are here, which you can basically just go in and get any power you want. There are these challenge rooms that you can unlock. You actually need to complete those in order to get 100%. You don't need to complete them well, you just need to do them. And yeah, we're going to unlock probably a couple things. I don't know, it might just be one challenge room at this point. But as you can see, that'll kind of open the door. We can go through if we want to check out the stuff. And as we do so, it's going to show us what we unlocked. It's going to be the sword challenge room. I'm not really going to do those right now. I will do them eventually. Like I said before, I won't do them well because you don't need to. Because I do want to get 100%, you know, like by game definition. But I really am just not interested in getting like the gold medals and all that on those. Alright, so before I forget and we go into World 2, let's go back here and start up 1-4 again so I can show you guys that secret. It kind of sucks that I skipped over it and then ended up forgetting about it, but oh well. Alright, so in Stage 4, it's pretty quick. It's really just on the first screen, so, you know, I'm not going to bother, like, editing or cutting or anything like that. Just make our way there really quick. Yeah, and of course, watch out for those things. You don't want them to topple over on you. So basically here, if you pretty much run over here and touch the right side of the screen, and then head over back to the left, as you can see, this whole thing has sort of gone down, and there's this hidden bush area right here. And as we go in, listen to the music. Yeah, it should sound familiar. It's basically, like, it's almost exactly the Spring Breeze music from Kirby Superstar, which is also, I believe, the music from Kirby's Dream Land, probably one of the originals. And as you can see, it spells HAL by the blocks, of course. This is one of the HAL rooms. There are 2 in the game. One's not for a very long time, but basically there's 4 powers here that you wouldn't normally be able to see by this point. First up is Hammer, which works, you know, generally like you would expect. You hit things with your hammer, you do the little spinning things, you do the I don't know, flip attack or whatever. You can also, there's still that attack, which is the power attack, and if you want, you can dash and throw the hammer away, just like you always could. And there's Fighter, which is probably one of my favorites. It's tied with Ninja, actually, in this game. You can see there's that attack, there's the strong attack, there's the dash kick. I mean, it all works almost exactly the way it does. It even sounds generally the same, like this. You know, like that punching sound is almost exactly the same, so it's pretty cool. Here's Wing, which, as I mentioned, is the one you'd use for speedruns, basically because of this attack right here. You can just keep using it over and over, and you can also, you know, kind of bounce up and down like that, so it's really good for maneuverability. We've got these little needle things, we've got, you know, downward attacks, and also Ninja. Ninja's gotten a really good upgrade in this game. You can sit there and throw these stars like that, which is insane. We've got little dashing attacks, and there's also an attack I can't really show you because I'm not hitting an enemy. You can also, I believe, hit down, up. Okay, maybe you have to... Okay, I don't remember. Let's actually take a look. There's like a special attack. Oh, it's up then down. Yeah, there it is. Blossom Storm, which is kind of interesting. So I'm actually going to take Fighter before we leave, because there's this sort of like charge attack you can do if you hold down and the attack button. You can see it's basically like a Hadouken. You can also do the Hadouken motion and go down forward and press the attack button, and you'll do it automatically, which is neat. But alright, well, I guess we've wasted enough time showing off those powers, so let's head back to the world map.